Everybody has a worldview. It's how we understand and perceive the world we live in. And it is a driving force in how we live our lives and make decisions. Our experiences, our thoughts, our acquaintances, friends and associates, our politics, our government, our schooling, our religion, what we watch on TV or in social media, all have an impact on our worldview. But then we should ask the question, does our worldview line up with reality? Is our worldview based on truth or based on presuppositions, faulty or outdated information, religious or political indoctrination, or just what we want to believe is true? I believe that truth is so important. So we will start this series of videos on the important questions of life with the question of origins. Where did we come from? Were we created by an intelligent, all-powerful, loving creator? Or do we come from a single cell by random mutations over millions and millions of years by chance? And where did that wonderful, complex single cell with all the DNA code to reproduce itself come from in the first place? Michael, question number one. Where did we come from? Did we evolve or were we created?
So we were created by God in His image, in His likeness, to be very distinct from the rest of His creation in that we serve Him and love Him and worship Him.
I absolutely believe we evolved.
Yeah.
We evolved from
Stardust.
We're all stardust.
All the elements are there.
Yep.
Easy peasy.
Yep, that's what we believe.
Evolution that happened very quickly over the course of millions of years, right?
I believe that all life is always in the universe.
Well, I think we were created. I think the theory of evolution is totally untenable. I think scientific evidence today proves that it's untenable. Complexity of design. Actually, some new scientific discoveries today, genetic entropy, we are de-evolving instead of evolving. So that proves that evolution is absolutely incorrect.
Well, I believe that we are created by God, following the account in the Old Testament in Genesis. God created us. We didn't come from goo.
So I like to believe that it's a mix of evolution, because I feel like science can't be denied.
God created monkeys or apes, and we evolved from them.
I believe that we evolved, but that God had a part in that. So kind of a mix of the two things.
It's a mix, because I don't deny science. I like to believe in higher powers as well.
We were created to evolve.
I would say both.
You would say both?
Yes.
Very good.
I think it was a little bit of both.
Well, I think maybe a little bit of both.
I think a little bit of both.
Where did we come from? Did we evolve or were we created?
The Bible makes it very plain that we were created in His image. And so, believing in the Bible, I believe that it helps us to understand where we came from, where we're going. So I believe that we were created in God's image.
We were created.
Yeah, we were created.
Did we evolve? Were we created?
We were created by God.
We were created. I feel like we were created as well.
I like to believe that we were created by a higher being.
Personally, I believe that we were created. There is a higher power, and He created us all.
I think that we were created. I think that we did come from a single source.
We were definitely created.
I personally believe that we were created by God.
Where did we come from?
From God.
Where did we come from? I believe we were created. When we look at the perfection of the human body, when we look at the beauty of the world around us, of all of creation, it points to a creator. When we look at the complexity of the human body and of DNA, and scientists continue to unravel just the biological mysteries.
We were definitely created, if you look scientifically, the trillions of synapses that we have, the billions and even trillions of cells, the complexity of the DNA. There's no way that could just fall together. It's just impossible. It has to have a designer, and that designer is God.
So the 3.5 billion biochemical things that have to happen in order to create a carbon life, is it possible to just happen by accident?
I believe the theory of evolution is just that. It's a theory with no viable evidence in science or logic. Darwin, way back in the day, observed adaptation in variations of a species or kind. And those adaptations, those changes or variations are observable today. For example, take a Chihuahua and a Great Dane. They're both dogs, and they could mate. Not that I would ever want to see that. And then you have humans. The Asian, the African, the European. I think you get the picture. You can see variations of change in species. This is called microevolution, but there has never been observed one species transitioning into another species. And there is no evidence in the fossil record of any of these transitional species. Also, the mechanism of evolution is mutations. And science today understands that mutations never add any information or complexity to the genome or DNA code. Actually, what we are observing today is a process called genetic entropy. It is the process of de-evolution caused by the accumulative effect of harmful mutations over time. What about the irreducible complexity that an organism must have to be able to function and adapt, such as a brain, a nervous system, a digestive system, so on and so forth. These have to be in place all at once to even have survivability, let alone adaptability. As some say, it came through slow mutations over millions of years. And for the evolution process to begin, there has to be life anyway. Where did life come from? Did it come from non-life? I would certainly like to know how that process works. To me, the theory of evolution has been perpetrated and promoted because of a worldview that simply says that God does not exist. And that is my opinion.
The Big Bang?
We came from Tao.
Oh man, I cannot believe I said that on camera.
I think the combination of thought and emotion creates everything that we know of.
Yeah, so that's always been my personal belief.
The creation story of the Bible has pretty much been discounted through various means, such as mainly radiocarbon dating.
We actually believe in reincarnation. So you can see in this picture here,
It shows how the soul, that spark right there, is the eternal spark. It's always traveling through different bodies.
I'm a college student. I'm taking many courses on evolution throughout the past and how we've evolved.
All the elements are there.
Yeah.
Easy peasy.
Because I have my own opinion of what God is.
Stardust.
Stardust.
We're all stardust.
We're all stardust. So that's always been my personal belief.
We were created by Jesus Christ. He is our Lord and Savior, and I was created by Him.
I believe that we were created by God in His image, and I'm just grateful that we have the Bible, His Word, that tells us truth.
After asking the questions of origins, we find out that everybody has an opinion, and what is important to me is truth. And I believe truth really is knowable if you pursue it without the baggage of any presuppositions or past indoctrination. So my challenge is to all of you is to seek the truth and follow the evidence. It has been said that truth will set you free. You may ask, free from what or free to what? We will attempt to answer the big questions of life as we proceed through this series of videos on worldviews. So, stay tuned.